I'm Landon Barclay, and this is my individual speech assignment. I'm doing this project on taxidermy, the art of preserving hides and animal body parts for show. This is typically done by most people as a trophy idea, and it's to remember the event, maybe the hunt or the experience itself, or how you did it, or just the impressiveness of the specimen. I'm gonna show you here here are some works that were done in this taxidermy shop. This is a these two, and that third one is all white-tailed bucks. This is a white-tailed buck as well, in the process of being mounted. So what's done here is, when the mount is being ready to have character inside it, we have the mount that's normally smooth when we first receive it. It gets sanded down. I don't know if you can see it, but we sand it down to make it rough, and we put edges into it in order to show definition inside the animals, because when the hide is placed on, you can't usually see that definition if it's just a loose form. The roughness on the other parts allows the glue to stick. And taxidermy isn't just about preserving, it's an art form. So there are the eyes, which are honestly some of the hardest things to do on taxidermy, because it's hard to get them to look, at least look natural, because you have to do the character all around it and make it look natural. The ears show character in what the deer may have been doing. The neck positions can show its level of intention, or if it's moving, or what it's trying to do. So in these works, you can't really see the stitching, and it's done really well, because really you just can't see it. Most of the stitching occurs behind here and along the back of the head, and it's typically hidden by pieces of fur and hide. So right here, I keep pointing at this. This is actually a cut inside the deer's hide, and it has missing skin right there. So you can kind of see where the edge is, but you cannot see the part where it is actually cut, and you cannot see the stitches because they're so elegantly hidden. Brows are also part of the character, and when coming into the face, so the brows of the deer show the outline, and so when you walk into a room and there's a deer in there, if you have the outline going towards someone's own eyeline, you'll see that it draws your attention in and immediately makes you look at the mount, which is great for interior design, because it just brings people's attentions to it straight up. So this one right here has a curve in it. So there may be a reason for maybe putting a doe right here alongside it, or it could be that you have some kind of other design that goes right here, and then you could put another deer that has it turned the other way, or a deer that even goes over this one where they don't interact, but they're right next to each other to show it off. So let's go back to the process. So right here, you can see 3 screw holes and the head mount. So right here we have epoxy. So this epoxy is mixed between 3 chemicals. I mean, it's a sort of ball of clay, and we have 2 creams that we mix with it, and they harden when you put them together, and they get really hot, and we put them over the skull and antlers, and then we put them like this in order to keep it down, and then we screw 3 holes after it starts to harden. So over here we have a deer that was in velvet. And so what you have to do with velvet is velvet's a little bit harder than when the antlers have lost their velvet, is that we have to put a type of varnish on them and preserve the velvet. Otherwise, the hair will fall off when you place it as a mount, and that just kind of looks ugly. So here we have antlers that are going to be part of a mount. See, these ones are already cut. These will go on shoulder mounts, and these right here are likely to be European mounts because we haven't cut them. What a European mount is a wooden plaque. Do we have one in here? Yes, wooden plaque, and then we have the skull placed onto it, where we put a clay or epoxy that's similar to the one we use right here on it, and we put that inside the skull, and then we smooth it off with a sander, and then from the back of the plaque we go and we drill it in, and then we stick it to the plaque. Then we go and we router the back. Well, we actually router them first. We router the plaques in order to be hung on the wall, similar to hooks like nails or hooks like this. So let's come back over here. So we have the mount like this, and so what's gonna be part of the next steps in this? So we already have the character in it. We're going to have to fit the hide on here, and so there's several fits to what goes on when placing on the hide. There's the placement fit, where we don't really actually put it on, and we just see how we have to move the parts of it, of the body. So we can unscrew this. We can actually unscrew this and take this back off. But we make this form so it stays on when we have it like this. So we'll take this off, and we do the placement fit, where we see how everything needs to be cut and adjusted, and then we do the dry fit. So the dry fit is where we actually place the hide onto the mount without the glue, and we see where it needs to be trimmed anymore in order to get it on here and look clean, and then we trim it, and then we put it on third time, and that one is the glue fit, and the glue fit is the final one. And after placing it on with the glue fit, so certain parts of the body will actually have air pushed into it, while other parts will actually have air sucked out. So what this is it makes it look, it gives definition to the mount. It makes it a little bit bigger in some places than it was before, but it gives it definition. So parts that are kind of hard to get the definition in, like these curves, will suck air out. But parts that need to look bigger, so the muscles look more natural, like the neck, have air pushed into it. And that's a very broad description of what taxidermy is.